So welcome, welcome. Tonight, I would love to invite you to join me for a spiritual shower. What that is just allowing the light of the Creator, the light of the source of all creation, to literally wash over you like a waterfall. And I'm getting a little warm, so I'm going to take this off. But as we're listening to this smooth jazz, I want you to imagine a waterfall of light coming from the heavens, pouring down on your crown chakra, which is the throne of grace. This is the place, your crown, your place of divinity in the body, pouring down this beautiful white or golden light, pouring down your face, calming, releasing any tension in the eyes, releasing any tension in the cheekbones, in the jaw, allowing that water to just pour over you, over your neck and shoulders. This is pure divine light pouring down on you like water. Feel it flowing over your shoulders and really releasing all the tension in your shoulders. Feel it dripping down your hands all the way down to your fingertips. Sometimes I like to do this and just let it, imagine it dripping off. Anything that doesn't serve you is being washed away by this divine water, this holy light. Let that flow over and into and through your heart chakra, your throat and heart chakra, clearing any blockages in your throat, clearing any tension or trauma or hurt from your heart chakra, really allowing that water to just pour through like a waterfall. And if there's any stuck energy, allow that water to just be powerful and move it through the body. So you'll feel that moving through. And if you need to just stay in one area for a while and let that water circulate there, then stay there and allow yourself to just feel that. And as it flows past your shoulders, down your arms to your fingertips, down your back, your spine, it's also aligning. This light is a pillar of light as well, and it's aligning all of those energy centers, the third eye, right? The throat, the heart. Then the navel, right above the navel, is our solar plexus chakra, which is our center for how we feel about ourselves and our confidence. Then below that, we have the sacral, which is really at the low back, the place where the spine meets the hip bone, really, really the low back. But we also can think of it as below the belly button. So as this water is flowing and pouring over those areas, just think about those areas also being free, that energy being free, moving any blockages, moving any stuck energy or any painful energy, just moving it, just letting it flow through the body. And then we have our root chakra, which is at the base of our genitals or the base of our divine opening. And we can envision there a root. This root is the core of our being. And this root drops down beneath us, below us, as this water is also flowing down our legs, down to our feet. This energy of our root drops down from the center, the core of our being, and starts to grow like a root in the ground, growing deeper and wider, growing that root, going almost like it's totally dead set on getting to the center of the core of the earth. So as we feel our root, we're now grounding ourselves. We're feeling our root go into Mother Earth, past layers of rock, past layers of the interconnected web of the mycelium, which are little mushrooms that grow underneath the ground that no one really sees, but they have an interconnected web, just like the roots of trees are all stuck together under the earth. So we're witnessing that as we're going deeper and deeper and deeper towards the core of the earth. And this water is flowing with us, also cleansing and watering the earth so that all these trees are getting nourishment by this divine light as we go deeper towards the core of the earth. And when we reach the core of the earth, there's this molten lava. The core of the earth is actually very warm and it is nourishing. And so this ball in the center of the earth, the core of the earth, is full of vibrant, powerful, life-giving energy. And we literally get to drink that up through our roots. So imagine your body literally like a root. That is, the roots are coming from your root chakra. They can be also coming from the base of your feet, going all the way down to the core of the earth, and then drink all that life force energy up into your body. Drink it up all the way through your feet, through the legs. Feel it entering the womb space. Feel this nourishing goddess energy cleansing the womb space of anything that doesn't belong there. It is filling you with vibrant life energy, life source energy, going up into your heart chakra, moving through your throat chakra, strengthening your arm muscles, moving up through your face, giving that life, vitality, vibrant energy to your face, to each and every muscle in your face, awakening your ears to listen to your inner voice, which comes from the Divine Mother and the intuition of the Mother, and that all that energy continuing to flow up past your crown chakra and meet the heavens. So you now have a pillar of light that has washed over you like a shower all the way through your whole body and grounded and anchored you into the core of the earth. And from there, you pull that life force energy, that goddess energy, up through your body, all the way up to where we first began in the heavens. So now that you are grounded, just allow yourself a moment to appreciate that feeling, to feel what it feels like to be divinely inspired, cleansed by the water, and fortified by the strength of Mother Earth. When you're ready, you can slowly bring yourself back and open your eyes. Today, I am really excited to share with you really more about the psychic shielding workshop that I developed. And it was so that I could do this kind of work with women. So I have had this calling to work with women because I myself am a survivor, and I want to see other women strengthened and realize that the divine is for us and that we are created in the image of the divine. And for some, it's hard to see that because we're constantly inundated by heteronormative masculine images of what divinity looks like. And the reality is, divinity is feminine too. And so we just tapping into that has really helped me overcome my own personal trauma. And I wanted to share that with the world. So without further ado, I want to share something with you. So I'm going to screen share, and the remainder of what I'm going to share with you is going to be it's going to be a video that I made, a PowerPoint that I made. And so here we go. Let's see. Give me a second here. Sometimes it's easier than other times. I'm not sure why it's more difficult this time. I just want to screen share. There we go. There we go. That's what I need. So, okay. So this is our video that, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, sometimes, we're human and I just moved the whole thing over and it belongs here. I'm still learning. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play this from the beginning so that, I wonder why it's not just playing how I want it to. There we go. Okay, so the Psychic Shielding Workshop, how to cleanse and protect your energy, heal auric leaks, and step into your sovereign power. So this is the workshop. This is basically going to give you a really short understanding of what the workshop will be about. And you can find it on Eventbrite, which I will share the link at the end. So the Light of God meditation is basically the one that we just did, except that I combined the Light of God with the idea of a shower to make it feminine, because water is feminine. That is also, by the way, what we do in the first. In the first, we go a lot deeper in the first class about how to cleanse your energy. So the reason I start with the spiritual shower is because we all need a shower, hopefully every day, but at least every couple of days, right? But think about how often we have actually done an energetic shower. And if you're like never, then that's a long time, right? And if you're thinking, well, I went to, a shaman on this day, or I had a house cleansing on this day, but are we cleansing our internal energy? Are we cleansing our heart? Are we cleansing our mind? Are we cleansing because we cleanse our bodies, right? We put on deodorant. But if we're not doing the energetic work, what ends up happening is that energy gets stuck, and then it gets heavy, and then we carry it around, and it's not good for us. And so we need to know how to do that, because it's easy to talk about that. It's a whole different thing to know how. So that's what I'm teaching, is how you can do this, and you don't need to pay somebody a lot of money to go, have it done. You can learn how to do it yourself. So it's very empowering. So in each course, in each class, I'm going to go over a guided meditation and a reflection. So it usually starts with a guided meditation. So we ground, we center, and then we go into the lesson for the day. So the first one, session 1 in the Psychic Shielding workshop, is going to be focusing on the power of words. So as we're cleansing our energy, we also want to be really aware of the thoughts that we're thinking and what we're feeding our mind, because that's what's feeding our soul, and that's how it's going to be carried in our body. So the power of words really matters. I will go into more depth about what this shamans have said about this, and then how we craft our prayers, like how to pray in a way that's effective. And by the way, you do not have to be religious to pray, and you do not have to even necessarily believe in God, right, in order to pray, because it's your relationship with the divine that is what you're praying to. That could be your higher self. It could be, like I said, the source. I prefer that because it's not gender specific. But having said that, we'll go into all of these things. If you've never done affirmations, or you don't know what mirror work is, this is really good for resetting how you view yourself. So if you've had negative self-image, or negative self-talk about a certain part of your body or your face or whatever it might be, everybody has an area that they're like, if only that was just a little bit better, I'd be just fine, right? And whatever that area is, mirror work is a good way to start addressing it and start loving yourself where you are. And I will teach you how to do that in the course. And then we will talk about sacred sounds, musical influences. This is really important because we can be listening to music that sounds really great to us, but it's feeding us poison. And so if we're listening to something that's feeding us poison, eventually it's going to break down our energy and we're going to feel drained. And so it might sound good in the beginning, but this is going back to the power of words. What are you feeding yourself? What are you feeding your soul? And then we'll go into some forms of meditation, just to give you some tools of like, here's some different ways to approach it, so that you don't feel like there's one way and I don't know how to do that one way. Because the reality is there's lots of different ways, and it's what works for you that's important. Aligning your chakras and creating your psychic shield. Once you've cleansed your energy, you are now ready to protect it. to not let anything back in. It's kind of like if we just rolled around in the mud and we took a shower and now we're clean, right? Now we can put on clothes, right? But if we're still muddy and dirty, then anything we put on is going to get muddy and dirty too, which is why we have to start with cleansing, how to cleanse our energy, because we've been carrying who knows how long, right? Who knows how much in our spiritual energy centers and in our bodies. And in our bodies, it comes across as weight or heaviness. And that's why we get, the hunched shoulders, we can get a crick in the neck, all of these types of things. It's where that energy is stuck in the body. So after we've cleansed that and we're learning how to do that and we're doing that regularly, then it's really important that we're healing the aura around us so that we're not letting that energy back in. And this is where it becomes really important to understand that there are energetic vampires. And just like vampires in the movie, that means they are sucking off our energy. Now, they may be human, they may be just energetic entities, which some might call demons, others might just call dark energy, or there's lots of different names depending on different religious contexts. And at the same time, if it is people, they might not even be aware that they're doing it, or they might be aware that they're doing it. And either way, if you find yourself hanging out with certain people and you're drained when you hang out with them, that's an indication that you have a leak with that person and that person is draining you. So you need to have more boundaries. You need to have some boundaries and protection. So I want you to think of boundaries similar to gates or fences around your home. They're not meant to be walls to block everyone out. They're meant to be, you have the lock, you have the key, you can allow in who you want to allow in. And if you don't allow them in, then they can't come in. And so being aware of how to do that in the psychic world, in the energetic world, really, really helps for just knowing, I've set this boundary and I'm holding this boundary. But if we don't know how to do that, it's really hard, right? Because it's like, how am I supposed to read if I don't know how to read, right? So this is where this comes in. A lot of this is going to be really attuning to what's going on in your own body, feeling what's going on in your own body. So in that way, it's going to be unique for everyone. However, certain parts of it are going to be universal. So like a shield universally means protection from some kind of dart or some kind of enemy's weapon, right? And so the reason this is important is because there are those energies and entities and people, whether aware or not aware, that are essentially attacking you spiritually. And so if you're being attacked spiritually, then you definitely need to have these boundaries. This includes things like having bad dreams or waking up and feeling a pressure on your chest like you can't get up. It includes feeling just like a feeling that you maybe don't even know where it's coming from, that you just can't trust someone in your life, or it can include so many different things that I couldn't make an exhaustive list in the time that we have. But if you think that you need this, you do, because everybody needs this. And then also I will be quoting the scripture for the bullet point number 5 to show you where it is in the Bible. All right, session 3. This is when we're starting to really expand your energy. So you've learned how to cleanse it. You've learned how to create your shield around yourself and seal auric leaks. And now you're going to expand that energy beyond your personal bubble, right? Your personal aura, into the larger world that you live in, including, the whole block that you live on, including the animals that are in your area where you live, including the birds in the sky, including literally growing and expanding that bubble. This is a really important practice because it moves you from like this kind of protective, I need my armor, into actually I'm expanding my power, I'm expanding my energy, and I'm starting to attune now to, instead of the energies that were draining me before, I'm now attuning to what the spirit is showing me through the animals, through the elements. And if you're not sure what the elements are, we're going to go through earth, air, water, and fire, and how you can utilize each of those elements to strengthen your own protection, whether that's through spell work, whether that's through prayer, whether that's through just meditation on the elements, or whether that's in your own personal body, in trying to find balance with them. Those are really great practices. I'm going to touch on some Buddhist practices, some Chinese practices, how to collect life force energy from the moon and the sun. And really, I'm going to fuse all of these together so that in the guided meditation, you're going to do all of these things, and then we'll break down, okay, that was that piece, right? So that you know. So just like we did with the spiritual shower, the meditation comes first, and then I'll kind of break down, here are the practices so that you can do that on your own and you can strengthen it, because sometimes knowledge really helps us. When we know why we're doing what we're doing, it helps us to really, remember it and take it into our heart and be able to do it again and again. So animal medicine, I could literally do a whole series on animal medicine. Animal medicine is so awesome. But what I will do is basically connect you to some resources so you can start doing your own research, because you may say this animal came forward and someone else may say this animal came forward, and I can help you to identify those particular animals that you talk about in the last Q&A section. But I also want you to have resources so that if new animals come, you know how to find the information that you need to interpret the messages that are coming through for you. All right, so tools of the trade. Session 4 is where it starts getting really fun, and you can bring in things like crystals, and this is a beautiful quartz crystal I have here. You can bring in, all kinds of different crystals. This one's tiger's eye. I have a little amethyst here. It could also be things like candles. Here's a candle that I made that is filled with cedar, so that so it's cleansing. It can be a whole lot of things, and when we get close to that, I will definitely let you know, and especially if there's one that's really calling to you, for example, an athame. If you look at bullet point number 8, I talk about an athame to cut cords. That is a magical knife that is only used for magical purposes, so it's not in your kitchen and you're not using it to cut your food. And usually it's double-edged, but it doesn't have to be. And so any of these things, let's say feathers really speak to you, that might be the thing that you bring on this day. If it's you really want to learn more about incense and coal incense and how to burn incense on a coal, then we'll talk about before this day comes what you're bringing, what each person is bringing, and I will try to do each thing that everyone brings so that everyone gets what they're looking for in terms of how to activate a sacred tool and use that tool to, heighten your protection of yourself. And I will definitely do a lot going over sacred stones. Again, I could have a Bible that's the crystal Bible that's like this thick. So we're gonna shorten it, and I'm gonna just talk about some main stones for protection. But there's so much out there. There's this wealth of knowledge of all the different sacred stones and crystals that you can use for protection and different kinds of protection. So this is a lot of fun. This is really where we get into all the fun stuff, and how to really create a space in your home, an altar and a space in your home that resonates with that energy, that sacred, holy, divine energy that you bring into your home. And then that permeates your entire home the way that if you light incense, you can smell it throughout the whole house. So, and then bullet point number 9, electronic cleansing, super important, super important, super important. I know so many people who are like, what is that? And I'm like, yeah, this is really important. This is like, oh my God, I can't even explain to you the amount that my life changed when I started doing this, because we put energy through our electronic devices on a daily basis. We're looking at our phones, we're on our computers, we're getting frustrated sometimes, we're listening to automated systems on the, we're dealing with robots. If we let that energy build up, then every time we go to the computer or the phone, it's going to be a drag. We're going to feel that energy. So that cleansing of that energy, especially if you had a call that really made you upset and you were like, I was almost yelling, or I did yell, let's be honest, we're human, right? Yeah, that part, super important. So if you're cleansing your body, you also want to be cleansing the things that you regularly use, right? Just like you would physically, you want to be doing that energetically. All right, the advanced skills. Now, the reason why I sell this as a package is because you cannot jump to this section. This is really, really advanced stuff. So you will be learning things that probably most of the people that you know don't have any clue about how to do these things, because these are things that the spirit showed me directly, that I did not read about in books, that I did not have a guide to teach me. And when I received these teachings, because I'm a channeler of the divine, so I channel goddess energy, and I'm also clairaudient, so I can hear when the divine speaks. And so as I was learning these things, I realized you cannot jump to this. It's like I said before, if you're not cleansing, then you don't want to start building fences to keep it, right? You don't want to start putting protection around if you haven't cleansed yet. And so likewise, you start learning to use these tools, and this is really where it's kind of mind-blowing when you get to this level and you start learning how to create a portal. Now you're learning things that that you're not going to be able to find in the book. When you get to this part, you're learning things that will stick with you for the rest of your life and will empower you for the rest of your life. Because let's face it, no matter how spiritual a person is, everyone still, no matter how spiritual they are, no matter how many years they've been doing it, will still come across negative energy in the world or within themselves, or emotional energy, feelings that don't feel good, and will have to cleanse and then come back to protection and then seal off that energy, right? So that it's not coming in and aggravating. Everyone has to do this. There's nobody that gets to a point where they don't have to do this anymore. But knowing how to do this is the difference between being someone who is able to go through life no matter what the circumstances are and take a breath, take a break, and respond rather than react. It's the difference between that, being able to just go, okay, let me do my spiritual practices. Now I'm going to respond to the situation after I've done all these practices, versus somebody that just reacts and it a lot of times makes the situation worse. So these are practices. You will, by the time you are done with this class, you will know how to cleanse your entire house. You will know how to put seals on all of the windows, all of the doors. You will know how to effectively use crystals in corners of your house for specific reasons. You will know how to cut off any energy that's starting to try to drain you, and any energetic vampires. You'll be aware of any changes in your energetic field, and you'll be able to say, oh no, we're cutting that off, that one does not belong, right? And you'll be able to do that on your own. Then we'll also go into some of the deeper studies, like what is fasting? Why would you want to fast? There's so many questions around that. So I'm going to open up a lot of time for questions and answers. Plant medicines like peyote, marijuana is a plant medicine. how to effectively use plant medicines, like ayahuasca, for example. These types of medicines are not to be taken lightly. These are very spiritual. They have ancient roots. And so honoring how to do this in a way that's honoring to those roots, and the origins of where they came from, and if it's even right for you, right? Because it may or may not be right for you at a certain point in your life. So this is where we're getting into kind of the deeper stuff that, like I said, it's not likely to be in a book, and it's and you really can't find it anywhere else, because these came directly from the divine to me. So that is that's the end of my presentation, and I wanted to give you a chance to, if there are any questions, you can ask them now. And would you like to just, if there's any questions, put them in the chat maybe, and I'm going to stop this screen share as soon as I can see. Kind of weird, I can't see my the little arrow sort of disappeared. I think all the famous people that do this, they have somebody else do the tech part so that they can just focus. So if there are no questions, then I think I will probably just end the session. I can stop the recording. That way, if you would feel more comfortable.